my goodness! From the newly remodeled Steve Ellison Field is the Casa Grande Gauchos taking on the Petaluma Trojans in Varsity Girls Lacrosse. The rivalry renewed in the first stage of the battle for the paddle between two teams with high expectations. Good evening, everyone. I am Griffin Epstein joining you from Ellison Field, and it is the Egg Bowl renewed once again in girls lacrosse, and we're happy to bring it to you here on Trojan Live. And the Petaluma Trojans come in with very high expectations for this season, and so far they have delivered. 4-2 overall. They are 1-2 in league. They've played Windsor and Newman in their last two games. The top two teams in NBL at the moment, both were tight losses. They're hoping to rebound tonight against an improved Casa team as well. Their crosstown rival, Casa Grande, comes in 1-0 on the season. It is an experienced and senior-clad Trojan team, so this match very important, as will the later one be next month. That will conclude who gets the battle for the paddle, the prestigious trophy on the line. The Trojans trying to make it 3 years straight of hoisting who is the best girls lacrosse program in Petaluma. The Trojans hoisted it last year with the sweep of Casa. Can they do it once again? The full game with play-by-play interviews and much more is all coming up next here from Ellison Field. And we are here at Ellison Field. The PA announcer talking above me. We welcome you up top here for this Egg Bowl rivalry. They meet at the center circle to get underway here. And we're underway. The experienced Trojans taking on the Gauchos, looking to end a 2-game losing streak, and more importantly, looking to win back, or win for the third straight year, the Battle of the Paddle. .45-minute halves. The game finished tied at the end. It will be a tie. That's what happened in the JV game prior. Monka picks that up, the freshman. If you've been watching any varsity girls soccer, you know how speedy and talented she is on a field. She was an absolute star by the end of the year. The Trojans get it ahead for Nicole Costa, their senior captain. And wide open and scoring! The Trojans strike first. What a great pass ahead to Costa. And all alone was Whitney Royal, another senior on the Trojans. And they're quickly on the board, 1-0. The Trojans ran the break well out of the turnover. And there was no chance there for the Gaucho keeper, who's one of the best in Sonoma County and gave the Trojans a lot of trouble last year, even in their victories. Ashley Bosch, she's only a sophomore, but she was brilliant last year, the first time these two teams faced off. The Trojans turned out getting the victory 13-6, but it was a tight one at the half. She only allowed 3 goals, even though the Trojans dominated. Monka out quick. And the Trojans look fresh and motivated, and now a foul called on the Gauchos as Catherine Wood had a probing move. Very nice attendance here tonight, and it could not be a more perfect night for a game here, as well as a penalty shot with Wood. Fires low, and it's an easy save made by the Gaucho keeper. Trojans are going to need good shots to beat Bosch, and so far they did that with Royal's point-blank shot. She pretty much had anywhere to put it. That one heads out of bounds as Nicole Walker just couldn't handle it. Doing double duty also as ASB captain. She must have a lot on her plate. Gauchos, meanwhile, move it forward. The spin move around Monka, but good defense. Trojans goalkeeper is number 25, you can see there in the middle. That is Michaela Mahoney. Gaucho's patient here. No shot clocking or crossfires low. And the save is made by Mahoney. Not too hard a save there. My apologies, that's Audrey Nagy in goal, and then she almost turns it over. Now she's out of goal, and wide open. Nagy gets back and blocks it away. Oh, great play by Nagy. She was behind the goal and somehow raced back in time. The Gauchos should have scored with ease, but Sara Zaragoza, one of the two captains on the Gauchos, just couldn't pull the trigger in time. Gauchos again and again, deflecting it wide. Only second game of the season for the Gauchos. They've had plenty of time in practice to get ready for this one due to some scheduling quirks and some rain. Hasn't been a lot of playing time. Liz Monca's on the run, and that's bad news for any opponent. Gets it ahead to Costa. And moving it forward. And missing wide. Had a great look was Grace Spalletta, the senior. But the Trojans ran the break to perfection. And Bob Merwin, the Gauchos coach, not happy. Another shot is fired, and that is the goalkeeping abilities there that you saw. Not a smart pass, though. The Trojans get it right back, and now a foul is called. Elise Osman, the junior, with a nice interception there. Ashley Bosch, the keeper, though, with the nice save there. Plenty of action in front of the net. Costa just being patient. Also the captain of the girls basketball team. She's had plenty of experience on this field. This is going to mean a lot to her final game against Casa Grande here at Ellison Field. Spinning and waiting is Grace Spalletta. There's lots of lacrosse in her family. Her older brother, Benny, graduated last year as the Trojans turn it over. He's one of the stars on the boys lacrosse team. She's quite skilled as well, one of the top players on this team. A foul on the Trojans as the Gauchos were moving it up. So far, this season has been great success for the Trojans. They came in with high expectations. 4-2 overall, 1-2 in league. But already they have more wins than last year's. This shot is fired, and so far, the Trojan keeper doing a great job. The Gaucho shots, 3 saves by her so far. The Trojans only won 2 games last year. It was a rough year to say the least for them. 2-14-1, and they were young. Not a lot of seniors or experience on this team, and it's been a program that's building. But this year, a lot of those seniors that have helped build this program are graduating this year, and you knew they were going to lead the team off strong. That one deflected and was easily corralled. And the Trojans moving, outpacing the camera. It's Osman racing alone, and she is fouled. The Gauchos are just settling for fouls right now on the fast break. It's the only thing they can do to stop a Trojan goal. 6 minutes into this one, and the Trojans leading 1-0. The Trojans' only 2 wins were against Casa Grande last year. I mentioned the 13-6 victory at Casa, and then they had a tight 12-9 victory here at Ellison Field late in the season. They did have a tie, but they had a lot of close games. They just could not win, and it fell on an unexperienced team. Not a lot of leadership. Had some tough moments, but they really built it up to this year. Pass was a little too far, and Bosch is able to get to it. She throws it way out, and well received by the Gaucho. Racing forward, they have numbers. It was Bloom who got it forward. The Gauchos back in the offense. Centered and deflected. The Gauchos pull it back down. Now, there was a lot of aggressive fighting, and that might just be a penalty shot there. Oh, I don't believe so. It was Kelsey Gomez Fours, another senior captain on the Gauchos. They're a little bit more experienced than they were last year as well. It will be a penalty shot for Gomez Flores. And the Trojans keeper will be challenged once again. Instead, the Gauchos decide to run a play. That's an interesting choice there. They'll decide to set it up. If you're not comfortable taking the penalty shot, obviously always an option. Try to get it to your strongest shooters, offensive attackers. Merwin, so a member of the varsity girls basketball team, Casa Grande. These teams played in girls basketball twice, including here in the NCS playoffs. And there's a lot of Casa Petaluma going on today. You got the boys lacrosse teams facing off on the other side of town at Casa Grande. They'll be back here in April. The second leg of that will be at that one. And then the baseball teams also faced off at the Boris Classic earlier today, and the Trojans got the victory 7-2. Trojans fell behind early, but Sam Brown came in as a relief pitcher and shut down the fort. That's fired off the post and doesn't go, and the Gauchos can't find a goal right now. Now a penalty on Casa, and it will be Trojan ball. Gauchos frustrated. They just haven't been able to finish. They've controlled the attack so far here. We'll have a face-off. Or I'm sorry, Roper's got it, and she is fouled again. And that Boris Classic we're talking about with the baseball teams, de facto state championship, as the Gauchos are fouling at ease right now. De facto state championship, and both teams dropped their first game but rebounded for wins in their second game yesterday. So the winner advanced to the Constellation Championship, and the Trojans will be there tomorrow. They take on San Benito after their exciting victory over Casa. Meant so much. They gave up 2 early runs in the third, but 5 runs in the fourth. Freshman Garrett Lewis was a big part of that. And the Trojans have to be already happy of their performance with the top 16 teams in all of Northern California. And they're looking for a 9th place finish if they can beat a good San Benito team tomorrow. Casa with great ball movement, but that one misses wide and heads out. Casa just can't finish right now. They're outplaying the Trojans, that's for certain, but the Trojans have shown their prowess already on the fast break with Royal with a goal, and now they have scored finally. Carly Gibbs, the sophomore, gets the Gauchos on the board with a probing move there and able to finish in the left-hand lower corner. And that has to be a big monkey off the back for the Gauchos that are able to put one away. Often that can really open up the floodgates and get things going. So tied at 1 here, and we are just over 11 minutes in to this one. 45-minute halves. The Trojans trying to get back in the win column in league. This is the first league game for Casa Grande. Their only game was nearly 3 weeks ago against St. Vincent's, another Petaluma team, and they destroyed the Mustangs, who I don't think have the experience or prestige of lacrosse like these two. Defeated them 10-0. Not much of a challenge. So they haven't gotten a lot of in-game experience, but they've gotten a huge amount of practice time, which can be really helpful. And they will be busy. They have 2 more games the rest of this week, one tomorrow and one Friday. They face Sonoma Academy tomorrow and then Windsor on Friday. So their scheduling suddenly comes fast and furious. The Trojans have already been plenty tested, have their ups and downs, but a lot of ups, especially in non-conference. A lot of teams they lost to last year, and they got victories. The Gauchos again attacking, firing, and scoring, and they take a 2-1 lead.
Number 3, Carly Gibbs.
And it's Gibbs again.
Second on the night.
Already 2 goals, and the Trojans are going to need to find a way right now to just get the ball in their possession. Because right now, the Gauchos are dictating this play. And there's not a lot of offensive attack for the Trojans, and it's going to be challenging against Ashley Bosch, the Gauchos keeper, either way, and can't even get very many shots on her. It's going to be even worse. Face off again here, 12 minutes in, tied at 1. And winning the face-off is going to be the first part of that possession, so vital. Something the Trojans are not winning. They do there. It was a good battle by Liz Monka. Only a freshman to step up The Trojans have 6 seniors, but they also have a lot of underclassmen youth and exuberance, but a lot of them more experienced. Played a lot more lacrosse as Costa gets it forward, firing and scoring. What a play by Costa to get it on in, and finishing it off was Charlotte Crysdale, the sophomore, also on the varsity girls soccer team. And the Trojans have to keep on getting it in there. Costa with some brilliant passes inside. We're going to have a timeout here. She's able to get it right inside into the grill of that Costa defense, and there's just no way you can make that save. The Trojans retake the lead 2-1. My apologies, misspoke. It is 2-2 because the Gauchos got those 2 quick goals. It was good goaltending early by Audrey Nagy, but the Gauchos were able to answer. They finally connected, but the Trojans have been lethal on the fast break, and it's been Nicole Costa's probing passes that have gotten right into the grill of the Gaucho defense, and there's been no chance for the talented keeper Ashley Bosch to make any saves. And the key on that last one, Trojans won the faceoff, so they're able to get some possession. So they've been lethal when they've had it. Mentioned some exciting victories early. They had a really nice victory over a good Alhambra team in the East Bay, 14-12 in their season opener, a team that they got crushed by last year. And then they backed that up with a dominating 20-9 victory over Terra Linda. They just dominated the fellow Trojans as the Gauchos couldn't control it after they'd won the faceoff. And Monka, who's been everywhere, picks it up, trying to get it forward, and the Gauchos retake it. And then an aggressive foul by Elise Osman. After that Terra Linda victory, the Trojans entered league play, successfully defeating Rancho Catati 11-4 as the Gauchos get it in and score. That was not good defense there by the Trojans. Way too easy. Trini Merwin broke away, and the Trojans couldn't even get a stick on her. And they retake the lead 3-2, up and down. It's been a fun one to start. Trojans lost to Rancho both times they played last year, but able to get the 11-4 victory over the Cougars. And then the last 2 losses, they've been disappointing, but they've been against elite teams, and the Trojans really played very competitively with Windsor. They were right in the game throughout, but just a couple late goals by the Jaguars put them up, and they got a 7-4 victory up in Windsor last week. Monka wins the faceoff. She's just charging through the defense right now. She has been a force to be reckoned with. And she's going to be someone that you're going to hear her name a lot in Trojan sports in the coming years. And then on Monday was the Trojans' last game, as Spalletta gets it in. Back out to Costa. The Trojans fell 14-6 to the Cardinals. But granted, the Cardinal Newman, really an elite team in girls lacrosse. 4th in NCS last year, finished undefeated in MBL, taking home the league pennant 10-0. Was never really challenged even. The Trojans were semi-competitive in the game against the Cardinals, but not able to finish it. And Trojans just patient here. Back out to Costa. The pace slowing down here, and I haven't seen the Trojans really get into their set yet. They've scored both on fast breaks. Now Costa charging in, turning, firing. Oh, that was a one-man show there. Nicole Costa spinning, turning right through the Gaucho defense and finishing up top. You can see the athleticism and skill. She's an elite blocker in basketball. She's just an elite player anywhere on the field. And the Trojans tie it back up 3-3 here, 18 minutes in. And Windsor as well, very strong last year. They finished 2nd in MBL at 7-3, and they were seeded 11th in NCS Division 2. So the Trojans are able to be competitive with both of those teams is big, and I think they certainly have a shot at Windsor when they face them here at Ellison Field in a couple weeks. And unlikely that they could take home an NBL pennant, but you never rule it out if they could possibly knock off Newman. 1-2 at the moment in league, and in a tie for 3rd with Sonoma Academy, firing high And a great look, I think her stick was hit, was Sarah Graham, the senior, and a member of our Trojan Live team. Had a good look, but hard to finish through that contact there. And it headed out of bounds, so Gaucho ball, and Bosch will send it back out. And the Gauchos will head back on the offensive attack, somewhere they frequented so much here as the sun sets over Ellison Field. And a foul there. Stopping the break was the junior Elise Osman. It's a vocal and supportive crowd here on both sides. Stands well filled, and we'll talk a little bit more later on about the improvements and the remodeling. But I have the pleasure of standing in the home stands here at Ellison Field, something I haven't done in, gosh, about a year since the remodeling takes place. Pinpoint passing, but the execution to finish just wasn't there. The Gauchos able to save it, and then a foul behind the goal in that beautiful purple end zone. And the Gauchos will get the ball back, but boy, was that good passing by Casa, but they just couldn't finish there. And that was an issue earlier. There's still 3 goals to account for, but Nagy's been strong in goal so far, the senior. Trojans do rotate between her and Sarah Graham in goalkeeper. Deciding to go with Nagy after Graham was the keeper, giving up 14 goals to Newman. We have another foul. This should be, I believe, a penalty shot for the Gauchos. Actually, it will. Yes, it will foul on the Gauchos, actually. So Trojan ball. And now they can get it up and get those numbers in the break. And Nicole Costa out on the run. Forward to Spalletta. Back to Costa. Just it wasn't able to handle it. She probably would have had an easy goal. Not probably the 2 most talented lacrosse players out there for the Trojans. Spinning and firing, but it was deflected as the shot was taken by Spalletta. And it never reached Bosch. And now it's Merwin on the run. Finally a bump there. We'll stop it. Charlotte Crysdale, who has one of the 3 goals so far, came in to stop things. This is only the second game where the access to the home stands has been available. It was just opened up this week, so the Trojans game against Cardinal Newman was the first game. They just finished this section of the stands just last week over spring break. And the full field was opened back in February. The Varsity Girls Lacrosse soccer team got to open that up in the NCS playoffs. We were there for that exciting 7-2 victory that moved them on to the quarterfinals. They had a great season. Many players on that team, also on this team, is foul on the Trojans there, but outside of the penalty box, so not a penalty shot. We are 23 minutes into this one. Halfway point of this first half. It's so far an exciting up and down affair. 3-3 here in the battle of these crosstown rivals in the Varsity Girls Lacrosse Egg Bowl. With the battle for the paddle on the line in this game, and then they'll have the second leg on Casa Grande's field on March 19th. The Trojans have taken the last 2 battle for the paddles. It's only been around. This will be the 4th year. But the Trojans trying to continue to dominate that. Even though not as much experience, you might expect to take home that special trophy. They've been able to do it and able to get victories over Casa, even if the seasons have been rough. It's a much brighter season for them now. Trying to defeat Casa Grande as well. Important to their NBL standing, their NCS standing as well, where they currently 7th is the Gauchos. Had a good cut over the middle. Couldn't finish, but they reclaimed it. And Nagy never saw it coming. Hard to see who scored there. They're going to credit to Sofia Gardia, a freshman, and another member of the girls' basketball team on this Casa squad. I think almost half the girls' basketball team at Casa has to be on their lacrosse team. So the Trojans trail once again here, 4-3. And they've struggled when the Gauchos have got it into their end, really, to get it out and clear it. And the passing has been confident by the Gauchos and patient, and that has worked well. So Monka once again will have the faceoff. (13 against 13). It's the green and gold that wins it that time. It was Sari Zaragoza, one of the junior captains. 3 captains on the Gauchos that won it there, and now Merwin. Getting through 2 Trojans, firing and scoring.
Score number 11, Trinity Merwin.
And right now, the Gauchos, just more electricity, better offense. They've been the better team so far, controlling the pace of play, and they now lead 5-3. And again there, Merwin just gets by 2 Trojan defenders. It was too easy. And the Trojans are going to have to find ways to get the ball out of the Gauchos' sticks and out of the Gauchos' possession. And secondly, just have defense better and build that wall around the net better, because they've not done a good job of that. There's been too much room to work with the Gauchos when they've been patient. Monka struggled to win the faceoffs, but they've given the freshman that big role. It's going to be a battle this time, and the Gauchos are the one that wins it. Again, just sprinting through that defense. It's been a little bit too easy for Costin. There's been a couple too many holes that have cost the Trojans the last 2 games and costing them again. Important game as well for improving their NCS, and they'd love to have a home game. Didn't make NCS the last 2 years, but right now projected 7th by Max Preps with a strong schedule, helping them out as well. And certainly a 3rd or 2nd place finish in MBL would likely get them a home game right here at Ellison Field. And I know it would be so sweet, means so much for the seniors to be able to get that, all the hard work they've done building up this program. Once again, the Gauchos patient, passing it around, and the Trojans needing to get down on those passing lanes, find a way to stop it. They're going to get a foul there on Juliana Roper, I believe. Nope. A legal violation actually on the Gauchos, so second time we've seen that, right around the same spot too, so Roper's going to be able to get it for the Trojans, and they'll head the other way, and it feels like they almost need to score now that they have possession the way it's been going, with the Gauchos having so much success when they have the ball. Roper really aggressive, pushing her way up along the sidelines. It's still going. The Gauchos trying to shove her out. What a valiant run by Roper. She still got it. Finally knocked out late, and it will stay Trojan ball. And right now, Gaucho coach Bob Merwin wants a conversation with the refs. He says he wants to talk with her for a clarification, but the referee saying that you have to call a timeout if you want to talk with her. So they are not going to allow that, and it's going to stay Trojan ball. I don't think they would have changed the call either way if you talk to the ref. Doesn't really work like that. Spinning, turning, but Bosch was there, and if you don't get a good shot on, Bosch is going to make the save every time. And there, it just wasn't good enough. The Gauchos moving forward. Great speed until it was finally poked away. Oh, they're going to call a foul. A great run by Carly Gibbs, who already has 2 goals today. But the late foul is called. Now another whistle here. Infraction. And a penalty shot for the Gauchos. And Nagy struggled the last couple shots at goal. She's going to be tested there. And that one went wide. I don't know if Nagy got a piece of that. She very well might have. Trojans dodge a bullet there. And starting to play better right now defensively. Getting in those passing lanes. Getting it forward. Now they're in the break. Get the combination of Costa, who's ever at the other end of it. be the recipe for a goal. Here's Crysdale. Charging forward, ahead, and poked out. Was trying to get it to Roper right in front of Bosch, which has been the recipe for a couple of Trojan goals. And now that one is lost. And way ahead, and falling violently to the ground is a Trojan there. That was Elise Osman, who took a serious tumble. So it is starting to darken. The sun's setting beautifully over Ellison Field. It was a beautiful day today. 78 degrees the high in late March. Couldn't be better in Northern California. And not a cloud in the sky today. And now a very pleasant evening as well. Very mild temperatures out here. Perfect day for lacrosse. Foul on the Trojans there as the Gauchos got back after a quick turnover. 5-3, the Gauchos leading here. Trying to take the first leg of the battle for the paddle. We're 32 minutes in. That's good defense by the Trojans there, as there was nowhere to go for Olsen. Actually, they call the foul, so that doesn't work out good in the end. And now the penalty shot, firing, and scoring. And the Gauchos extend their lead 6-3, as it was once again, so far the girl of the hour for the Gauchos, Carly Gibbs, the sophomore. 3 goals, a hat trick for her already. And the Gauchos now doubled up. Apologize if things were a little dark, but I believe have resolved that issue now, so it should be a lot brighter. They're going to resolve to have Costa now in that center circle. Monka just has not been winning too many of these face-offs. The Trojans trailing by 3, and right now work to do. Good job by Monka winning it. Maybe you want her out on the wings. That's where she plays in soccer. Better speed, can use it a lot more. A battle there. But another Trojan turnover, proving costly right now the way the Gauchos have had possession. Trojans need some of it for themselves. Awaiting the call from the referee, which aren't proudly displayed for the viewing audience. Even the referee's having to communicate it, but it is going to be Gaucho ball. So far, the Gauchos really look like they've used what they've done in practice and all that to help. I'm sorry, it's Trojan ball. And they really ran plays well. They've been patient, and practice has paid off for them. They haven't needed the game experience, obviously. A whistle as Monka was charging in for a good look, and that was unlucky for the Trojans there, stopping what looked like could be a good attempt. Still Trojan ball, though. Monka firing, she scores! Little flick of the wrist over Bosch, who wasn't ready for it. You need a good shot to beat her. And that time Monka put it in the top left-hand corner. Monka's got her first goal of this game, and that cuts the score to 6-4. That was something the Trojans badly needed. 35 minutes gone, so 10 minutes left to go here in this first half, with the Gauchos leading 6-4. Trojans trying to get back 500 in league play. Boys lacrosse team tried to stay undefeated in NBL. They're 2-0 so far, and they've won 3 straight games, trying to defeat the Gauchos and reach first place alone in NBL. That would be something special. But the Gauchos have been so elite in boys lacrosse. Undefeated champs last year. They've sent multiple players to D1 top schools, including University of Denver. And they've just become a huge powerhouse in Northern California for lacrosse. And the Trojans really have had one of the top teams in the North Bay, but just haven't been able to touch the Gauchos the last couple years. But this year with the Trojans a lot of experience, the Gauchos lost a lot of top players last year. The Trojans are hoping to return the favor of victories this year, and they'll play once again in the return trip, same time as the girls in April. It's the Gauchos back on offense here, so that will be April 19th for the boys. We'll be here at Ellison Field for that. And turning and firing, it somehow got through the goalkeeper and right to Monka. and an odd deflection. And now the Trojans are moving it forward with great fan enthusiasm. Great ball movement here, wide open for a moment, but only a fleeting moment. And now deflecting, and we have a whistle to stop this frantic pace of play. It was Caroline Olsen who was open there for the Trojans, but the Gauchos really closed quickly, and now the other way, a wide open Gaucho. Great last-ditch defense, though, and that saved the goal. That was a wonderful job there by number 18 for the Trojans, Jacqueline McGee. There's a total breakdown there as the Gaucho got free.
There's 27 seconds left.
Only 27 seconds actually left in this half, so a lot less time than I predicted, but the scoreboard doesn't have it. Never got the shot off there, and now another whistle here. Trojans trying to make sure the Gauchos don't get a late goal here, and they can head to the half only down 2. Actually is Trojan ball, so they'll just throw it ahead with the seconds ticking down in this first half. Merwin. That's good defense by the Trojans. She scores, but they don't count it. The whistle blew before the shot. The displeasure of the Gaucho supporters here. I'm sorry, Zaragoza with the nice move there. But the whistle called before. That was not the end of the half, though. Instead, it was a penalty before. Trojans got the rough end of the stick on one before. Now the Gauchos will get the other end of the stick. Fired and scored. The late goal the Gauchos wanted to finish the half. That feels big for the momentum. It's Merwin's second goal of the evening, and the Gauchos retake the lead 7-4. The Trojans just haven't been able to really close those passing gaps and shut down the Trojans, and it has not been a good game so far for Audrey Nagy in goal after she was really strong. The Gauchos had their opening surge, but since a couple have come in, the floodgates have really opened, and the Gauchos really, when they've gotten good-looking shots, it has been no contest. So little time remaining here in this first half of this rivalry. Costa at the center circle. And there is the horn. That will do it. We have reached the end of one half here, and it is the Casa Grande Gauchos 7, the Petaluma Trojans 4. So we are about ready to start the second half of play here at Steve Ellison Field, newly refurbished, and it is looking glorious on this Wednesday evening. You've seen the purple end zones in the artificial turf field. It's allowing for all-weather, all-purpose field, so it can be played whenever. So very helpful for Lacrosse, who last year with the normal grass field, turf field, had to play a lot of their games at Lucchese Park or at Casa because this field would get such in bad shape when it rained. And the soccer teams, both playing the winter, pretty much couldn't play here at all because the field is pretty much unplayable for all of winter as it gets muddy in the rain. But no worries no longer with that refurbished. And the Trojans quickly on the offense to start firing, and the save is made by Bosch. It was Whitney Royal who had a good shot attempt, but good save there by Bosch. And so far, I think the offense for the Trojans has to be so far a success. It's been the defense that's been disappointing. The goalkeeping of Audrey Nagy has been a struggle, but she was out there working a lot during halftime, working on her shot. Her teammates were giving her some shots, so the Trojans are obviously trying to give her some confidence, but the defense could help too, and it's just a run like that by Merwin where she's just getting by everybody, and it's just far too easy, and the defense really needs to help out Nagy a lot. Face her a lot less shots, and she should get a lot more confident. That's a hard shot fired, but Nagy's able to deflect it there. A low bouncer, that was not easy, but a good play there. And the Trojans able to gain possession. And the foul on the wing there. along with the new artificial turf field. You also have the track you can see around it. Brand new and quite nice as well. Trojans with another good steal there. Monka, she's just been a delight to watch so far this evening. She has been everywhere trying to get ahead to Costa, but is a little bit too ambitious. Most of the home side of the stands have stayed the same, but they've improved steps, made it ADA approved for people with disabilities, as hit in the face there was the Gaucho, and she still has the ball, but she's in horrible pain because she was hit in the face. She's going to have to give it up. They're going to stop it because Trinity Merwin is in horrible pain. She must have taken a stick to the face, or maybe it was the nose. But pointing at her mouth, whatever the case, it's not good, and she's going to have to come out. It's a physical, rough game out there for lacrosse. It's certainly not for people that don't like contact. So Merwin, who's been a pretty good force, probably the fastest player on the Gauchos, is going to come out, and they will certainly want her to return the way she has played tonight. A couple of goals to her name. With the Gauchos leading by 3, 7-4 here. 3 minutes in to this second half. 35-minute halves. Apologies, I said 45 earlier, but it's 35-minute halves. They do have different rules for boys and girls lacrosse, so that makes it even more confusing if you're only you follow lacrosse from afar. The boys actually play quarters, and a whistle before that shot was taken. That's not going to count. We've seen that a couple times tonight. It's been unlucky for both sides. Carly Gibbs was looking for goal number 4 there, but the whistle prior. And instead, she's going to get a free shot, and considering the sharpshooter she is, she scores. It's hard stopping Gibbs. She's one of the best shooters, and Trojan defense has just got to be smarter with those penalties. Rather have Gibbs charging at the goal from maybe a bad angle than just give her that penalty shot. Hasn't been good enough there. Trojans trying to sub. They have plenty of bench players in depth on this team, trying to find the answer defensively, but once again, they trail by 4. It's been the Gauchos' biggest lead. Trojans struck first, but have not led since. And just been trailing. Gauchos have continued just to extend the lead slightly, as the Trojans really struggled to gain possession, and that's been the big issue tonight. Osmond decides to take the face-off. They've mixed it up there. Really good battle by Monka to be able to win it. Gosh, she's only a freshman. Imagine her as a senior on this team. She is going to be terrific. I mean, talk about scholarships, but she might get a scholarship for soccer. She's so athletic at that as well. Costa's got it. The Trojans need her badly right now. And how about the boys lacrosse score? 9-8, the current score. It's tight over there. That's good news, I think, for the Petaluma. They're not getting blown out, which is something they did last year. That one is fired into flex. It's good passing to number 2 on the Trojans. Grace Spoleto hasn't been very active of late, but they get it back in. Fired! Scores! My God! So special. She's got the little flick of the wrist. It's so hard to read, and Monka has got the hat trick. She's got 3 of the 5 goals. She's everywhere on the field, and she is keeping the Trojans afloat here. The fabulous freshman. Cuts the lead back to 8-5. Can the Trojans get some stops on the defensive end, get some control, and cut it in? And it's now been tied 9-9. We're getting the a little play-by-play of the boys' game, which is very tight on the Casa field. Trojans were not even competitive when they played Casa both times last year, and Casa was such an elite team last year, one of the top in the state with so many seniors, so much experience. But it's Trojans' turn to have that, and you knew they were going to have a good chance, and a win would put them in command for an MBL pennant. Boy, would that be special. And it's tight there in the second half, tied at 9. We'll certainly have full report from that game after the weekend. Trojans hoping for a clean sweep with Casa today. I mentioned earlier, already got the victory in baseball, the Boris invite over Casa. It's been a big Egg Bowl day. I don't know when else you have 3 times that Casa and Petaluma are facing off in a sport. Still got a couple more sports. Obviously, Cross will play one more time. but you got plenty more. Trojans trying to get the stop here, and a good play inside there to knock it out, but they got it right back. Zaragoza. Foul on, I believe that was on Casa. So it will be. And it will be Trojan ball there. Zaragoza started the point guard for the Gauchos, trying to lead them. But that was much better aggressive defense. They're really building a wall, not letting her in. And now fired and scored. Zaragoza scores there. They built a wall, but that time there was no resistance. And Nagy's struggles continue in goal. That was not the best shot, and she might have gotten a stick on it, but it just trickled by her, and she just has not been able to stop it. And you wonder, if you're the head coach of the Trojans, if you think about a goalkeeping change, because for Sarah Shada, the Trojans coach the last couple of years here, and she's also a former lacrosse player right here at Petaluma just about 5 years ago. She's definitely young on the job, but she knows the Trojan spirit and pride. But big decision here if she would want to change goalkeepers, because Nagy just has not been up to the task in this one, unfortunately, for the Trojans, and she's been more of a liability, and the Trojans are going to continue to give answers on offense. Costa. So skilled and skill athletic in the open field, but again, it feels like a must score for the Trojans just to stay within reach of Casa. They put it into Osman, and I believe she was fouled as she was trying to shoot. She is, and she's going to get a penalty shot. The junior. Bosch has been pretty good, and now Trojans have gotten a lot of good shots on her, so the save percentage might not look good, but Bosch has made some good saves and helped that score to her favor. Osman fires, and Megs Bosch. That was a good shot low in the legs. Good luck getting your stick down there. And 9-6, the Trojans get the goal they need, courtesy of Osman. The question is, can they get a defensive stop? They're running out of time now. They've got about 20 minutes left in this one here in the second half, as Monka got a quick break, and she's going to re-enter for the Trojans. Osman's going to take a seat. 9-6 the score. Trojans trying to go to 2-2 in MBL. Take the first leg of this Varsity Girls Lacrosse Egg Bowl. JV also faced off earlier, and it was good news and bad news because they tied. Can't happen in lacrosse. If it's not the playoffs, they'll finish in a tie. 7-7 the final score between those two. JV now 2-2 on the season. Very young last year, a lot more experience this year, and they definitely have potential, the future of girls lacrosse here. And a foul is called there on the wing, and it's going to be Trojan ball. Roper's got it. And the Trojans are able to get a stop. Now, can they capitalize? It's Monka. Many cheering her name. It's been a really spirited crowd here. It's been a really fun atmosphere. A lot of Casa fans, a lot of Petaluma fans. They've gone back and forth cheering on. And this rivalry in girls lacrosse really has blossomed to something really intense. And it's fun to see. They go behind now to the captain, Costa. 4-year lacrosse player, main sports basketball, but she has thrived in this sport as well. So I think she thrives on any field. She could probably play football and be a good wide receiver, if you ask me. Went through a lot of traffic there, but they're going to call a foul. Just outside of the box there, so no penalty shot, I believe. No, they will give her the penalty shot. It's going to be pretty deep, though. It's not going to be easy to get it past Bosch. Trojans trying to get it back down to 2. They trailed by 3 at the end of the half. They led 1-0, but Costa scored 3 straight goals. Her stick was hit from behind, and it goes out, and did the Trojan touch it before it went out is the question. That's Juliet Maddox back there, and they're going to rule that she did not touch it, so it will stay Trojan ball. But Maddox trying to force it into Royal. It's just a scrum. And I think Maddox was hit in the head now. She's saying she's okay and awaiting the referee's decision. And I believe we are going to have our first card issued to the game, and it is a yellow card. And I believe it is to the Trojans. 17:32 is the time remaining. As the refs are resetting here, Trojans trail by 3. The offense, when they've had it, has been good. They just have not had a lot of possession today. Monka has been superb. Nagy's had some struggles, but the defense overall for the Trojans has had some issues really stopping the ball and just stopping the possession and getting it back. So the foul was on the Gauchos. They get the yellow card. 2 yellow cards and you're out, just like soccer. And Maddox, only a sophomore, is going to get the penalty shot. And before she shot and the save was made, there was a whistle. And they're going to do take 2. There's Maddox, also a player on the JV volleyball team. Fires, and again through the legs. The Trojans have found the weakness spots on Bosch, and it's between the legs. Obviously, they've done some scouting report. They played her last year. They played Bosch last year, and they were able to really solve her a lot better in that second game. And it is 11-9 at the half at the boys' game. I'm not sure who's leading 11-9 at the half, but I have been informed that they are definitely behind schedule there, so maybe I could try to head over if I have time to Casa Grande. I don't know if I'd make it. The 15-minute drive crosstown to see if I could catch the end of the boys' game. Don't know why they put them at the same time. You get even more spirit here, but there's plenty here. Monka's charging right in, trying to cut the lead, fires, and Bosch. Oh, it's in! That's a goal! It got past Bosch! And we've got the lead down to 1 here, folks. 9-8. I don't know how Monka fit that in. Bosch tried to save it with her legs, and I think it seeped through. No one realized it. But the camera caught the ball just behind the post, and Monka has done it again. Her 4th goal of the day. She has half the Trojan goals. And it's 9-8 here. A furious surge suddenly. On this 3-0 run, the lead has been cut to 1. This was the momentum, the surge, the offense the Trojans needed. The key has been possession. They've won these face-offs here. They've been a little bit more aggressive and physical. And they've been able to finish past Bosch, who's looked very human in this second half. Monka gets it forward. Trojans just need to keep on pushing with the momentum right now. It's all on their side, and it is in the fans, loud and proud right now. Costa trying to save it. Oh, she ran into Costa there. The Gauchos, which were standing on just by the sideline, had to scramble out of the way to make sure they didn't touch it. Foul on Costa. It's Costa ball. Wanted to mention the other amenities. You can see back there some of the new stairs and lights that have been added and the ADA approved. The snack shack remains the same, but they've got a new shot put area, which you can see back there, also with discus as well. And then long jump and high jump have been moved to the other side. Meanwhile, the Trojans win it right back. Now they have numbers. Costa to Spalletta. Hasn't scored. She's been surprisingly inactive today. The Gauchos done a good job neutralizing her. It was tipped. Great job reading the pass. And Zaragoza had it for, yes, it will be Gaucho ball. That was not Zaragoza, actually. That was Electra. Oh, I'm going to apologize here. I have no idea how to say that last name. Senior number 2, Electra. I'm not going to even try to say that last name. I'm not going to be able to do it correctly. Don't want to embarrass anyone. But the Gauchos seniors got it. Trying to turn this momentum around. They have been unstoppable, and they've got it into the offensive end almost completely. A couple fouls have been the only reason the Trojans have been able to stop them there. Surging and spinning is Marwin, so obviously she's okay after she was hit in the face earlier and had to come out. She'll head behind goal. Can Nagy step up and make a save? Feels like she needs to make at least one big save to save the Trojans. She turns, and she scores. Merwin has been a force. Trojans unable to contain her, and Nagy certainly has not been the one able to stop her tonight. And the lead is 10-8. That's a big goal to help regain a little of the momentum And just to show you a little more amenities on this field, you can't really see it because it's behind the stands, but it's all grass area. And then behind the baseball field, Abbey Field out there, is where the shot jump and high jump have moved. High jump was originally right there behind the end zone, so they have moved that around. And then as we pan you over to the other side of the field, the west side, or south side, excuse me, you see the discus and shot put areas. 10-8. Gauchos lead. We have 15 minutes left to go in this rivalry. Up and forth. It has been competitive and a lot of fun to bring it right here on Trojan Live. If you missed any of it, scroll back on the time saver, or if you're for some reason getting bored and you don't like lacrosse, if you're getting bored, you can scroll ahead. We'll have interviews and more at the end of the game. Monk at the center circle. She has been the spark today for the Trojans. She has been spectacular. Scramble for this one, but it's picked up by Monka. And now ahead to the junior Osmond, who's done well today, including a goal. And now back to Costa. Darting past one defender. She's got two more in her way. Oh, was there a Trojan wide open there. And a great play by Bosch, who was able to be comfortable and come out of the goal. That's something a lot of goalkeepers often don't like, to leave their little circle area. But she was smart to come out because Morgan Hartman had gotten free, was wide open. She just couldn't control it. She probably would have had an easy goal otherwise. Instead, the Gauchos are moving it forward. And now the Trojans get it back. Struggling to contain it, but able to get it off the bounce is Catherine Wood. She's hit. But able to feed it back to Flynn. The senior. One of those 6 seniors on the Trojans. Provided experience and really built up this program. And now a foul is called on the senior Electra Casa. And the Trojans are going to get a penalty shot here. So it's going to be Flynn. Help build up this program. It's only about 15 years old since they've had a girls lacrosse program. Only second year of JV, which just started last year. Similar with boys JV, just started 3 years ago. So it's still newer on the scene. And scoring! That was delayed reaction. It was such quick passing. It was hard to follow where the shot came, but apparently Crysdale talking. I didn't see it. I hope we caught it. Spalletta had the rapid pass, and it was a great finish by Crysdale, who gets her second goal and cuts the lead to 10-9. Great tic-tac-toe passing, and it leaves the coach for the Trojan, or for the Gauchos, Bob Merwin, who's obviously the father of Trinity Merwin, quite upset once again. Can the Trojans tie it back up here? We're approaching the 10-minute mark left here in this final deciding half. Who will come out victorious here on Ellison Field? Well, that's a good face-off one there by Zaragoza, being a captain leader. Zaragoza cuts over. And in, and saved by Bosch. She's made a save. I think that was going over the goal anyways, but just to have a ball in the net of her racket, the head of her racket, just has to feel good for the Trojans keeper that has really struggled tonight. Unfortunately, they turn it right back over, and now Merwin is fouled. She has really given the Trojans some issues. And Merwin's going to get it just outside the circle for a penalty shot. And now is Bosch truly confident? Could she make a step up, make a save here? The Trojans can hit Merwin's stick or touch her, do whatever, get in her way as soon as she starts running, as you see. So she's not able to get the shot off there because she was so far out. Didn't trust her aim from that far out, probably about 10 yards out. Instead, Merwin's patient, looking for a shot. Spinning, turning, she lost it, but got it right back. Centered. Coach Merwin for the Gauchos saying open up the middle. But the Trojans are clogging that middle. There's a lot of white traffic there. Misfired pass, but the Gauchos get it back. Just need to be a little bit more aggressive here. Just overplay and have the Gauchos turn the ball over. And there they did well. The aggressiveness triple teaming Zaragoza. She couldn't go anywhere. And it just fell to Nagy, who was looking, and then there was a whistle. And I don't think those hand signals were good news for the Trojans. But unsure to exactly what that meant. Well, Nagy still got the ball. I'm sorry, yes, it is Gaucho ball. So Nagy could hold it that luck right over the middle, and she scores. Oh, well, the Trojans did a great job last time keeping any Gauchos off that middle center of the field and avoiding any of those easy shots where it's going to be a tough angle. But Merwin that time got right free. Sarah Shada calling timeout. It is 11-9. The Gauchos lead by 2 here. It's been a tight one throughout, and we're coming to the closing climaxes of this one. Could the Trojans come from behind and take the first leg of this Egg Bowl, or will the Gauchos get a big first league victory over the Trojans and be halfway to taking back the battle for the paddle, the conclusion? It's all coming up next. Show you the final quarter of the new amenities added here on the home bleachers. The bleachers have also been repainted. All the panels taken out. They were definitely fraying and having some issues chipping away. They got new nice gray panels. They look a lot better. And then you can see the new ADA approved stairs. It's just out of your view, but they have some beautiful new sort of stair benches that applied. Are definitely going to be the hangout spot for students at football games and any other events. They're really nice. And then also the snack shack and ticket entrance now moved over there. The Casa students are doing a little bit of waving at me. They are here, so are the Trojan supporters. Back to the center circle. Trojans trailing by 2 here. And we have 13 minutes left to go, and we've got a clock running for you in just a moment. Now it's running. So we'll have a fully accurate count. Gauchos win it again, and that is vital, and it's Merwin again. Can they just make sure to get the ball out of her paddle? Merwin turning. Looked like a good job getting her out, but they're going to call a foul to Gina Spoletta's disbelief. And Merwin's going to get a penalty shot. And you know Coach Sarah Spada is just praying that Nagy can make a save here. All the Trojans' momentum to get it down to 1, and it might not be enough. Coming in, good defense to knock it out. It heads behind the goal, and it heads out of bounds. Who is it off of? It is off the Trojans, though. Trojans sitting at 1-2 in MBL, tied with Sonoma Academy, who they're playing next on Friday here at Ellison Field. Windsor and Newman both remain undefeated, 3-0, 2-0, and there's the save by Nagby. That was the best of the night. Merwin had a howitzer at the left-hand lower corner, and Nagby was able to divert it away. It will stay Gaucho ball. Well, that was a great save by Nagby. Easily her best of the night. Now over the middle and firing, and Nagby again comes up big. Maybe she's found something here. Trojan supporters calling for defense. They need a stop here, and Nagby makes another save. Well, somewhere, somehow, Audrey Nagby has certainly found something. She made 3 consecutive saves. I don't think she had that. But right now, the Trojans can't hold on to the ball. And the time's going to become more and more precious here. Fired. Nagby knocked it out again. 11 minutes left here. A whistle. And the Trojans will get to take possession over. Roper's got it. They need to hold on to possession here. Now Roper's going to take it herself. You know she can take a run. She's fouled. The clock continues to run during stoppages. There is stoppage time like soccer, but Trojans do want to play with a little bit of authority now, down 2, and with the struggles to contain possession, they definitely need to score. Roper charging forward. It's knocked out of her stick, and now Costa takes it back, and then Costa scooped it up again. Back and forth, and now you've got it in your point guard, your leader, Nicole Costa. Trojans get it ahead to Monka. She has 4 of the 9 goals tonight for the Trojans. She has been the table setter, the goal scorer. The focal point for the Trojans just has been Merwin for the Gauchos. Royal, she had the first goal for the Trojans tonight. Turning over the middle, cutting and firing, it's saved by Bosch. Oh, the goalkeepers are stepping up when it matters most. Ashley Bosch with a huge save there. The Trojans couldn't have drawn it up better. The cut across the middle of the field. A foul's going to be called on the Gauchos, but beautiful passing, and over the middle was Charlotte Crysdale, who seemed like she should have certainly slotted it away, but Bosch came up with a huge save. Might have to do that a couple more times to put it away. And now another foul is called as Roper was charging down the middle. And we do have, oh no, Roper's number 6. My apologies. So Roper's going to get it there, about 20 yards out with the Trojans trailing by 2, and now under 10 left. Over the middle, and Spalletta missed it. I do not know how. She can't believe it herself. She certainly looked like she had a great opportunity. You can see the disappointment on her face. A point-blank look, but she missed it high and wide. Maybe Bosch got a stick on it. That's what the refs are saying, so it's going to stay Trojan ball. No, I'm sorry. No one got it. They're going to say Casa ball. Trojans would love to win it back here. Aggressiveness would be big, but just as Royal got possession, they call the foul on her. Sarah Shada, though, happy with the effort and that aggressiveness that you saw there. Time running out on the Trojans in this comeback bid. They got it down to 1 a couple minutes ago. But now they have 8 minutes left to make up this deficit. They move it ahead, and now a battle, and Casa wins it that time. Trojans have won a lot more battles, though, here in the second half, and that has really helped them out with that possession. Another whistle. They've called it tight tonight, that's for certain. Still Casa ball. And Ken, goodness, just ticky-tack right there. Foul on Osman. Night has fallen here at beautiful new Steve Ellison Field. Time running out. And this girl's egg ball, and they're just calling every time a player touches someone right now, and both fans on both sides a little frustrated with this. Gotta let the players play, especially in a game of this magnitude and excitement. Not gonna get a lot of girls lacrosse games in general in California with this much excitement. Turning, spinning, firing, and scoring. The Gauchos have taken a 3-goal lead, courtesy of Zaragoza. A great move, and they have restored the order here. The Trojans got it down to 1. They had all the momentum, but they have not been able to score here in the last 10 minutes, and that has been costly to their comeback bid. Time running out now with the lead at 3. And only about 7 minutes left to go. Feels like the Trojans need to find Monka when they were down in that offensive end. A couple minutes, they were unable to get it to Liz Monka. You know the Gauchos are trying to focus on, and that cost them. She has really been the go-to goal scorer. Gauchos trying to remain undefeated on the season, 2-0, and they go to 1-0 in NBL play. Trojans have Sonoma Academy coming up. They're trying to break a 2-game losing streak, too, as well, after they had such a hot start to their season. And they whistle that dead. Trojans will face Windsor here at home, but then they get a very long break due to some of the other schools having spring break in the first 2 weeks of April. So they don't play Windsor all the way until 4/13 in the second half of their NBL schedule. It is a small league for certain, only 6 teams. And next year, everyone will be moving, Southern Sonoma County teams, so both Petaluma and Casa Grande will be moving to the Vine Valley League in the expansion. SCL and MBL both become defunct. So we have another whistle here. Stays Casa ball. And mostly the Lacrosse League will remain untouched. The Trojans play in SCL in every sport except for the 2 lacrosse teams, just because the majority of schools in Sonoma County don't have one, so you only need 1 league to make one, as that one is thrown way ahead to Costa. The Trojans are showing the authority now. They know they need to score. Unable to handle it for a second was Royal. Now she's got a beautiful move. Pass 1, needs to beat 1 more defender, and as she was trying to get it forward to Crysdale, the whistle was called, and I believe a foul. And I believe she'll have a penalty shot in a good position here to score. The VVL next year, so all the same current teams. The additions will be Justin Sienna in Napa, which will be a normal league opponent in VVL. And then Sonoma Valley is going to have a girls lacrosse team, apparently in boys and girls next year, because they would like to have 8 teams in the league next year. So that would certainly be a boon, but it's mostly the same league, so it's not... Lacrosse won't be hugely affected by the changes. Almost every other sport besides this and badminton will be. Completely new teams besides Casa and Sonoma Valley. That is going to be a costly turnover for the Trojans. Now a whistle, but that is not one the Trojans could afford there to turn it back over in a good position. They just have not been able to score here in these closing minutes after they'd have surged 3 goals in about 3 minutes. Just haven't been able to maintain it. So the VVL next year will be Sonoma, Casa, Petaluma, and then 4 teams from Napa County: American Canyon, Vintage, Napa, Sonoma, and Justin Sieta. Good job for the Trojans to get it back and get it back to Costa. See the authority. I know they have to score now, and you really can't take time to wait at all. 5 minutes left to go. The Trojans scored about 3 goals in 3 minutes earlier. It's definitely not impossible, but they're going to have to hurry, and they would take a tie at this point if that's what it comes to. Costa spinning, turning. She has 2 goals today. She's fouled. No. Foul infraction on the Trojans, I believe. And it's Gaucho ball instead. And again, the Trojans get the ball back, but they've had about their last 5 possessions. They haven't been able to score. They were so consistent when they had it, but now when they've had more ball possession, they haven't been able to put it back in the net. Credit to Ashley Bosch as well. She's come up with a couple nice saves. The Gauchos trying to put it away, possibly on this one. Gotta get ahead. Fired and wide. Nagy has finally stepped up, but it might be too little too late for her. Will stay Gaucho ball here. And only about 2 minutes remaining in this one. 12-9, and a timeout is called here. Final instructions as we wrap it up from Steve Ellison Field. And stay tuned after the games. We will have interviews with all the players, but right now with 2 minutes left to go here in the second half, it is Casa Grande 12 and Petaluma 9. Well, definitely a positive for both. They have a lot more experience on both sides, and both teams last year, it wasn't the most successful years. 1-14-1 for Casa. They were 1-9 overall in league. Their only win against Rancho. Trojans were 2-14-1 overall, 2-8 in league. Those only 2 wins against Casa. Both teams already have more wins this year, if Casa, assuming they win today, and definitely positive. Both programs have been built up. They were only club teams just 4 years ago. Both boys and girls lacrosse teams were only clubs. So as fresh, Casa leading 14-12, 2 minutes left in the third. So that's tight over there. But these seniors as freshmen, that was the first year that it was became a CIF sanctioned sport, so it was allowed to have lacrosse as an official school sport in California. It was played at the club level, but no official state championship or anything like that, similar to ultimate frisbee or mountain biking, which are maybe the most notable club sports you can think of off the top of your head. And lacrosse has become more popular here on the West Coast. And obviously the instructions there, as Costa was trying to go in aggressively by the Gaucho coach, was just pass it around, take your time. There's only a couple minutes left. You can just close this out and get a huge victory for the Gauchos. You know we're hungry for this, considering how long they waited 3 weeks since their last game. It is now going to be Trojan ball. Costa launched it forward, but the Gauchos did a great job running it down. We have another whistle here. That has really slowed this game down. It was a tight one throughout. Gaucho's biggest lead was only 4, but Trojans got it down to 1. We're not able to finish it. Stays Trojan ball here. Scrum on the middle of the field, and Trojan head. Spalletta picks it up. And now ahead. And too far. The offensive execution has been missing by the Trojans. You can see the frustration in their faces. They just have not been able to finish in the offensive end these last 10-15 minutes of this game. The most crucial time, and in the end, they're going to wonder about it. There's the whistle. That is it. The final score here, Petaluma falls to Casa Grande. Casa 12, Petaluma 9. Both players, both teams sprinting. Trojans, you can see, trying to stay positive, but a very big win for Casa. Have to be happy with Bosch's late game play, and the Trojans will be disappointed with this loss, but certainly a lot to learn for. Stay right here. Interviews are coming up next. We are here with Liz Monka. The Trojans fall short tonight. It was a tight game throughout. What do you think was the difference?
I don't know. I think we played one of our best games so far. I guess we just didn't put them in the goal.
And Liz, you definitely did score a lot tonight. I think 5 goals to your credit, and you were really up and down the field, standing out. As a freshman, how have you been able to thrive already?
Well, the team's really good about passing and communicating with us, so I think that's really beneficial.
And it was a fun atmosphere here tonight. It was your first Casa Petaluma girls lacrosse game. What was that experience like for you?
It was definitely very fun because I know half the team, so it was fun to play against them instead of with them.
And there's a lot of experience in leaders on this team, and you're only a freshman. What has been that chemistry and dynamic?
Well, the leaders are definitely very helpful, and they just help me to know how to play with the team because I haven't played with them before.
And what do you guys are about halfway through your season? You still got a lot left to accomplish. What are you guys looking to improve on?
We want to communicate more and spread out more on the offense, and definitely our clears, they can be improved a little bit.
Here with Juliana Roper, the Trojans fall 12-9 to Casa tonight. It was a tight back and forth game, but you guys just weren't able to score in those last couple minutes. What was the issues there?
We kind of went into the game with kind of some negative energy, and that reflected on the field. And when we finally started getting some goals, it was like a back and forth with the energy. So it was a little rough, but we pushed through at the end. Even though we fell short on the score, we finished a really strong game.
You guys had a really strong start to the season, 3 straight wins to start. Now you have 3 straight losses. How do you guys you talked about that mindset. How do you guys turn that mindset around and be more positive?
We just keep looking forward. We don't focus too much on the past mistakes we made, and we just try and think of what we can do to improve our game.
And you're one of the many seniors on this experienced team. How are you guys using your leadership to help lead this team with high expectations?
Well, we know how some of the other players on the other teams play, I guess, and we're using that, and we're kind of applying it to the new players, like, oh, this player can mark up on this one. She's a strong defender, and this one's a strong attack person. You can take her, and stuff like that. Just, yeah.
A lot of games left in this season. What do you want to improve on, and where do you hope to see the team at the end of the year?
Personally, I'd like to improve on my defending. I get a lot of fouls called. As a team, we're getting really good at connecting our passes and just connecting it all over field, from Sarah or Audrey saving it all the way up to one of our many great attackmen scoring. Just connecting all that.
Thank you, Juliana.
Thanks, Griffin.
All right, thank you to Juliana and Liz for the wonderful interviews. final score once again 12-9. The Trojans fall, and it was an up and down game. I thought Juliana really described it well. They came in, unfortunately, with a little bit negative energy after their last 2 games. Those were some tough losses, especially against Windsor and Newman, but those were good teams, and you would have hoped that they had turned the mindset. But they did look down a little bit early, especially the first half. They really struggled, especially defensively. Casa really scored with ease, and Nagy really struggled in goal. But the Trojans really played better, especially early in that second half. Nagy improved in goal, made some key staves. The defense got better, and the Trojans' possession really improved, and they were down 8-4 early in that second. They had that really electric start to that second half. They 3 goals in about 4 minutes. They cut the lead to 1, and you could feel the energy pulsating in this stadium, and it was a lot of fun, and it really looked like the Trojans could pull away, but they just, Casa, really credit to them for being able to turn it around. Trojans slowed it down a little bit, even though they had some possession and chances, just weren't able to finish. Some big saves by the Casa keeper were key, and just that one more goal by Casa really felt like it stopped the momentum, and they added just one more to that. Trojans were never able to score again last 10-15 minutes of this game, and that really cost them in the end. Overall, yeah, definitely want to improve the defense. The goalkeeping, certainly key, and there was a lot of fouls on the Trojans. They were a little sloppy, and maybe being not aggressive always at the right moments. Things to work on. They'll be tested against a solid Sonoma Academy team that came in 1-2 to league. Should be interesting to see how they do against the Coyotes on Friday night. Really need that win, need to turn that mindset around. They got a lot to accomplish. They want to have a good seed in NCS, have a shot at winning the game. So they definitely need to turn around. They'll get another chance at Casa. If they can beat them in the battle for the paddle game, which will be in a couple weeks over at Casa, they can still hoist it 3 straight years. These teams were pretty even. It should absolutely be a very tight game when they face off in a couple weeks. It was a lot of fun covering the team tonight. If you missed any of it, you can scroll back and watch the full game with play-by-play, and our interviews will also be up on our YouTube or on our daily morning announcements with highlights as well. We've got a lot of spring sports coverage coming up as all the teams are in league play. I know some baseball and softball live streams are coming up. We got a couple of those in the month of April, so if you subscribe to the channel, get an email whenever we go live, but we will announce all the live streams on our YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that, and we'll also be out and around Sonoma County covering all the big Trojan spring sports events, so don't miss any of that on our Trojan Live channel and on our daily morning sports segment show. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was a lot of fun covering the girls lacrosse team. We'll hope to do it a couple more times before this season is over. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Griffin Epstein. Good night from Ellison Field.